Hello everyone, this is Will from Apple 121 Trading. It is time to go into the Apple Creator Studio and go over the new numbers updates that you're going to see if you are a subscriber to Apple Studio. But also, this is a new numbers application all by itself. It's a new icon, new things. So we're going to go over some of the differences between the old numbers and the new one. A lot of things are very similar, but there are some things to point out, as well as the new features that come with Apple Creator Studio, and see if it's worth the value to pay for the subscription for that. Please like and subscribe all of our content. We really do appreciate you guys looking at all of our stuff. We really want to give you the best training possible. And right now we're going to start off right now here in the template chooser. So a lot of things have really stayed the same as far as some of the things you're going to see in here as far as like the personal finance, but there are some new things, and you're going to notice that there is a star here. And if you are a member of the Apple Creator Studio, you will get premium templates that only you can get here. So let's go talk about them. So on the left side in the template chooser, there's a new section here called Premium. They give you specific templates that you can use. So for example, they have this wedding elegant template, which I think is great. I'm a wedding videographer, so this might be valuable, but you can see what you're paying for your budgeting. So this is going to be a good one. It might even be a great video. We can just go over how to do something like this, but you can see this is a template that was given to us via the premium content. Going back to the template chooser, they do separate everything via premium, but there's also an all template section, and you can scroll through and see all the different ones, and you can see there's many different types of templates here. If you are not a subscriber to Apple Creator Studio, you cannot open these ones that have the star. Keep that in mind when you're going through here, that there are certain ones like budgets. This is a brand new section. This wasn't even here last time, but they just still have the personal finance, like the simple budget and the personal budget. These are videos we've already done. Go on the top right corner and check out those items right there, and we have some great tutorials for you. So let's go ahead and just open a basic one right now, and we're going to open it up. What we're going to do now is also show a comparison. So here is the old version of numbers. You can see it's white, and pretty much everything's very close to the same. They did move some of the icons around. You can see, for example, like zoom is on the left, where now they move zoom to the right. So the toolbar that's at the top is relatively the same, but they did move stuff around. Like, for example, share and comment, format, and organize are all in one area now, instead of it being kind of separated. And that is just based on what I guess they feel like feedback wise what this was. Also, again, that sometimes you might see icon only like this, where I recommend doing the icon and text feature. It gives you some more information in there. But relatively, you can see if I go through certain sections, like if I go through cell, it looks relatively the same. If you go to text, and again, I'm showing you side by side of the old numbers, which, by the way, is not replaced by the new one. So we already talked about that in our previous Apple Creator Studio, that the numbers app is a separate app. And then like arrange is the same, but you can see like the bubble texture is a little different. So relatively, you're getting the same stuff, just it might be in different sections. So just please be aware of that. But again, you can always customize the toolbar and make it the way you want to make it. And look at all these different things you could do, which we've already talked about how to customize the toolbar in our other videos. So let's talk about what has changed in here. So the number one thing you're going to see now are two buttons here that are in purple, and that is the Create an Image and the Content Hub. We're going to talk about this in all the Pages keynote versions, so we're going to talk about this multiple times. But the idea is that now you can go to the Content Hub and find all these different backgrounds and items that you can add into your items. So for example, if I want to take this background, if I tap on it, what it does is it's going to put it directly into the image, and there it is. You can kind of see it behind here. Let's make this a little smaller. I'm just going to drag the corner so you can take a look. But the idea of this is, well, what if I wanted to like take this table and maybe like put this little background on it? Well, you could do stuff like that. So you can stretch it out, and then I could just double click on it, and then I have the ability to crop it. So I'll go ahead and just kind of match it to the table here. Let's move this out of the way. All right, and it's kind of snapping there a little bit, not much. And then what I'll do is I will go to arrange, I'll make it backward, and then I'll hit done. And now you can kind of see, it's not perfect, but you can see that the content is now in the back of this table. So it's a good way to like make your tables look nicer. So the Content Hub will have a whole bunch of things. So let's go back to the Content Hub. So what do we have in here? So we have Discover, we have Photos, we have Graphics, we have backgrounds, and we have shapes. Now, shapes are not part of this premium. They are automatic. They've been here before. They just decided to put them here, but they're not a premium part of the content, just so you know that. But let's talk about the premium features, is why we're here. And now all we gotta do is do a search. So if I'm looking for things, and by the way, there's recently inserted, so it looks for things I've already done. It also has recent searches that I did. If I do city, as an example, now I'm getting all this city content. I have all these city icons, and then all I gotta do is click it, and then it's gonna throw it into my background over here into the clip, and you can see there it is. Let's go ahead and delete that. So it's pretty easy to do that. I mean, you could do things based on category. You could do things based on, so if you want to look for stuff that's backgrounds, they're giving you now background, like some of them are like little graphic images. Like little graphic icons, you can see some are transparent. In fact, you have the option to do landscape, you have the option to do portrait mode, and transparency. So if you want to have nothing in the background of the image, you can tell it transparency, and now we're seeing transparent icons. So if I click this icon, it now throws it in here as a transparent icon. Let's go ahead and delete that. So you have ways to isolate what you're looking for based on that. Now, let's talk about generating an image. So if I click on this, what we're doing now is we're actually going to create an image, and we're using OpenAI to do this, because it actually says it right down here on the bottom. So I can look up something. So for example, if I want to look for something a specific way, so we'll do an illustration, view, how do I want to view that? Do I want to view it by an angle? Do I want to do a low angle? So you have different ways of doing that. So we'll do a close-up, and then aspect ratio, we're going to do a landscape. And what I'm going to do is tell it what I'm looking for. So we're going to say training 2 people image, and then it's going to start creating something based on the text prompts that I provided. It does take about 30 seconds to a minute. Let's fast forward to the video. It is now refining the composition, and it's going to create something for me. So you have to wait a little bit. It's no different than if you went to ChatGPT, and you probably don't have the free one where it's a little bit faster, but it is creating an image for us. Is it going to be what I'm looking for? We'll see. We'll find out. And right now it is creating the image. Now it's saying 2 people, so it shows a male, female, and they have this numbers icon in the background, which I don't know if I asked that for that, but okay. I did do a search before looking for numbers, like graphic, so it was creating something with that, but this is what they chose as the icon. I don't know if I necessarily think this is like a training. I should have probably said computer training a little bit. Okay, and there we are. So it's getting this little numbers graphic down here, and I could just say, like, describe image edits. I would say remove numbers logo in the back right corner. All right, and it's done, and look what it did. It didn't even do exactly what I told it to do. So this is an example where I don't think this is 100% ready to go. You can tell based on the images, it didn't change a thing. All it did was just move it around. It actually didn't even get rid of this little chart in the background. Maybe I should have said chart, whatever it did. So I'll say remove chart. And I'll try this one more time just to see if it's going to do exactly what I want. But you can see that this is not ready. I think if I went to ChatGPT, it would figure that out, but I don't know. Okay, and it actually did create a better object what I was looking for. And then, of course, you could add more things to it, but I can go to Insert now, and it puts it in here. I probably would have preferred the background being removed, which I could do that anyway. There is a feature that lets you do that. As you can see, there is still no transparency here, which I probably should have added in there as a transparent background, but you can get rid of the transparency if you really wanted to. There's a remove background feature built right here, and as you can see, it took care of that pretty well, but it got rid of the stuff down here, so that didn't really work out that great either. So that's my point, is that this is not a fine-tuned application yet, but you can see that the generate image button is what we just went through over here with the content hub over here. Now let's talk about what other feature came in here, which is called Magic Fill. So Magic Fill was a new feature that they introduced as a feature of Creator Studio. I'm going to open up a demo numbers template that I created here. So what I wanted to show you was how Magic Fill actually works. There is a feature in Excel that already has this feature, but it's brought over to Numbers as a paid version of Creator Studio. So how does it work? A lot of people, what they do is this is probably the best example I can give you, is they have a whole bunch of content, like their name, address, and everything, not separate. Everything kind of comes together. And what you want to do is separate that. And what this is going to do is figure that out. So first thing I'm going to do, then I'm going to put last name here, first name. I'm going to put address. We're going to put city, state, zip code. Now, if you're going to do zip codes, by the way, more importantly, because these are numbers and some of them start with 0, it will not understand that. So you want to make sure that you highlight this column specifically. And what we're going to do under the cell is we're going to format it as text. In fact, honestly, you really should format all this as text, to be real honest with you. You don't want it to figure out something different that you're trying to do. So that actually isn't a bad idea to just highlight all the cells. And let's go ahead and make them text. All right. So now what we're going to do is in order for Magic Fill to work, you have to actually complete at least 1 or 2 of these fields by hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do Carter, and then I'm going to do John, address. And what I'm going to do is just copy it. That way I don't have to type it. So and that's okay. We could do that here. Copy, Command V, paste. City, we're going to do Brookfield. And then we'll put New Jersey, 07926. Okay, and now we're going to go to the next person. Now, as I start typing, watch what happens. Magic Fill shows up. And what it's doing is it's saying, hey, I need Magic Fill suggestion grant 128. So it's actually capturing the next line, which is what I really don't want to do. But there's a green button here that's going to fill the column based on the text pattern. However, it's not exactly right because it's grabbing the 128. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to type in the word grant. Let's get rid of that. I don't want that there. And then I'm going to type the word Melissa. And now you can see it's actually got that correctly, just that first name. So I'm going to hit Magic Fill column. And look at that. It took everything over based on the names, and we can look to the left and we know everything is correct. It's saying, do you want to reject it or do you want to accept it? You can accept it as text or as a formula. So if you want to do that as well, I haven't dove into the formula yet, but you can see it's actually figuring out the formula. It's actually creating a real formula to capture the information over in the first column. So you could do it either way, but we're going to do it as text and hit accept. Now we're going to start the next thing. We're going to do 128. And as you can see, it's not really capturing that name. So we're going to have to keep going. And then we're going to do C view, New York. You see, as I was typing, I actually got New Jersey. Okay, good. 1-1. And now you can see is magic filling for this one. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And yep, there we go. Hit accept. And let's go to the next person. So let's do Daniel. I'm sorry, I apologize. I threw S. I apologize. Woo. You can make mistakes here. Magic Fill column, and boom. See, this time it's not taking those numbers from before. It's figuring it out. So again, we finished that one. Let's do 905. Now, for some reason, oh, there we go. I was hoping it was going to figure it out. Magic Fill column, and there we go. Again, same deal. We have now grabbed the correct information all the way down. Let's go to Fairmount. Fairmount's automatically being found. So again, this is becoming easier and easier as we have filled out information. And then PA, CT, it figures it out and it adds it all in there and we are done. So how great is that we're able to do this automatically without having to do all the work. So this is a tremendous way of doing it. Let's do one more. I have one more example here and it's relatively the same idea. We're going to do a name and we're going to do an email. So we're going to do Carter, John, and then email. Again, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it here. Go to Grant. And here we go. Magic Fill column. Did it. I accept that. Melissa. I'll accept that. And I guess you could reject it if you wanted to. If you hit reject, it's just going to go forward. But I would recommend undoing that if you made a mistake. So let's go ahead. Magic Fill. Accuracy is great. Let's go here. I'll type in the first letter. It understands it. Magic Fill. And it's done. And there we are. And that is Magic Fill. So that's how you do it. I've only done it for names and for emails and addresses right now. That's the only feature I've seen. So this is the numbers guide for Mac, and they have the Magic Fill right here, and they explain those examples here. And that's the only examples I've really seen here. By the way, if you don't see the Magic Fill options, you have to turn on go to numbers, settings, general, and turn on show suggestions when editing tables. So make sure you have that turned on there for it to work. Now, the $1 million question, is this worth the value of getting Apple Creator Studio? Absolutely not. for me personally, Magic Fill should already just be there. That is a feature that should just be given to everybody. The Generate Image and Content Hub, fine. It's more of like a keynote feature. You could add it here. Is it worth the value of it? No, it's not. I really don't know why that this is a paid feature for Magic Fill. In fact, Excel gives you that free anyway as your 365 member. Now, you are paying monthly for that, but still, it doesn't make any sense to charge you for this feature, for how often you're going to do it. There are some premium features are in here, like the templates that we could talk about just to go over them. I don't know if there is so much a value out of that for some people. It's really up to you if you feel the value is there. I mean, if you have the Creator Studio, this is just an added bonus in numbers. And like I said, showing the comparison of the old numbers to the new one, there's nothing relatively different. And you could go on with your life without paying for Creator Studio for this. So that's just my feedback on this particular app. We are going to go over a lot more stuff inside of Apple Creator Studio while we have the free trial here. And thank you everyone for joining me. So if you want to do it, go get the free trial. It's a month. If you buy a new product, you'll get 3 months while this is out. Thank you very much, everyone. I enjoy it, and I love every single one of you.